Hey everyone, Toshiro here. I know this is a little bit different from the start of a Dragon Cast, but I just wanted to let you guys know that unfortunately my audio did not properly record when we were originally doing the Dragon Cast due to my setup. So there will be some silent moments in there where you won't hear nothing because I'm talking. Um, it will be, I will try to fill in a little bit of stuff here and there based off of what I said if there's anything important, but bear with us here. This is a one-time mistake. I just wanted to give y'all a heads up. Otherwise, you guys have a great day and enjoy at least the rest of the voices of the staff.
Welcome to DragonCast, everybody. I'm your host Malachi, and today I'm joined by
Game controller.
Xmat.
And for those who are not in our Discord, XMAT is our new staff member that we just elected into position about a month ago. XMAT, give us a quick introduction to yourself.
Yep. Hello everyone. You probably recognise my voice because I do Capscast and I've been a host on Capscast for the last season. I'm also coach of Cold, which is a position I've held for 2 seasons now. And yeah, I do tests as well, so you may have also seen me in that department, and I'm also part of TOP staff now. So I'm around a fair bit. It's fair to say I do a little bit. So yeah. Besides that, yeah, I'm British, as you can tell.
Yeah,
That's another fact that you can hear.
Nah, really?
Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I'm British. So, but yeah, that's about it. It's about the briefest synopsis I can give. So yeah,
Sounds good. Well, thank you for that. But yeah, why don't we go ahead and start talking about some, we don't just have XMAT as a new staff member, Geom, longtime staff member, also stepped down at the same time. Don't joke. But we also had a fair number of other changes coming up that I don't think we've talked about since the bowl. So let me just quickly go over them. Probably the most prominent change has been, and if you follow some of our community posts or the moveset video we posted, we have modded in Frost to help buff Derp. And as part of that, we had to say goodbye to Chi-Chi. At least for the season, we hope to bring back all our characters at some point. But Chi-Chi has gone off to train and, just take care of her family. But yeah, after that, we've also modded Exquisite Skill to have the Charge Blast cause paralysis effect, which just helps improve stun. Make it easier to stun your opponent when you're using Charge Ki Blasts. We also renamed a few Pataras. Mostly the maps, if you're on a certain map, you get these stats. Earth Power is now Bob D's Tattoo, Namek Power is Guru's Head Pat, Universal Power is Old Kai's Dance, and Resistor is now Shenron's Blessing. The reason for this is we commissioned a modder to get rid of those map restrictions, and we also added in 20 map slots to the game, and we will happily use that and add new maps over time as we find maps that meet the league's quality standards. We are also adding in a bunch of negative effect only Pataras to help us better run events like the All-Stars or other things. So like active charge minus 60%, attack minus 1, weak grabs. Like active charge minus 60% is the negative from Unleash Latent Power 3, which slows your active charge by, as you guessed it, 60%. also did, or I should say I did, a bunch of 5v5 testing last year and some other testing to help check league balance with all the large-scale changes we have been doing. And we slightly changed Jiren's power impact to reduce, but not completely remove, the loops that he has been famous for on a couple occasions. We also nerfed Majin Vegeta's charge rate by about 5%. We also added, and if you follow our testing channel, you may have seen this, we've added a third costume to Tapion and Hirudegarn. Tapion is based on Link's color scheme, and Hirudegarn based on Ganon. I think that covers all our high-level changes. We have also posted a tentative schedule for the upcoming season in our Discord, both in and on our website. Website has the dates and matches. Discord will just have the matches for right now. So yeah. And now let's get to the fun one, guys. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so let's get to the fun announcement we have. Does anybody want to take that? Or any comment on the changes that I mentioned?
Quick comment on the map slots. It will hopefully eventually allow us to have quite a varied range of maps potentially. So that's good, especially stuff like TOP, where obviously there's lots of water maps that can get randomized and etc. But it's just good to have that variety for people to choose from in general. So,
oh yeah,
and also all the changes like Frost and everything and the exquisite skill. I know that obviously, while I wasn't here in staff, all of it was vigorously tested. So as per usual, props to you, Mal, and anyone else who was involved in the testing side of that. Props, I think G as well actually was involved in that a lot. So
G, I will be the. Geom did the vast majority of the testing for Frost. I did a lot of the initial high-level balancing for Frost. And maybe just to pull back the curtain a little, we got Frost done really fast. We knew in November we were gonna move forward on Frost, and we're like, okay, there's nowhere near enough time to get Frost done and into derp in time for them to have it for 2024, because Android 21 took several months, Jiren took the better part of a year, and so we're expecting it to take 6 months to do. We had Frost within we had the completed model of Frost along with voice lines and everything from Vive and I think Metal Frieza 3000, another modder in the modding community, within a week of the bowl. And so we were able to start testing for Frost really quickly. And G knew exactly some of the exotic things he wanted to do with Frost. And so once I handed it over for testing, he just jumped in right away. And he was able to put a lot of time and testing into that. But yeah, it was... And so far, it seems like Frost has been doing exactly what we wanted him to do.
Yeah, really good.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. and I even remember in our testing, like he is very good. He can be stopped and shut down very easily. Don't get me wrong. Like he is not unbeatable in any way, shape, or form. But it is very fun to watch him fight.
It's nice that Derp have a game changer, a bit like Sentai had Jiren as a game changer as well. Like it changed their team a lot.
Oh yeah, and they've long been needing it. And I think we were all hoping that Ginyu replacing Kui would have been like that buff for them, and Ginyu just kind of has not risen to the level of consistency they needed. And then they had such a hard season last year. But hopefully Frost will give them that, and it will help them be much more competitive in the coming season. So.
Well, I mean, Ginyu was doing good though. Like first half of the season, he was actually looking really well. Then he kind of fell off second half. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's just Derp had nothing worked for Derp last year, and it was just so hard to watch because that team tries their hardest, and just so often it just does not work out for them. Which makes me really happy that, as I said, from what I have seen from them in testing, it's just looking really good.
Looking forward to see what they can do with them.
For a bit, yeah. So let's get to the fun announcement. After one of the popular requests we have had is to bring back the Gauntlet in some way, shape, or form. For those who may not remember, who may be more recent to the league, the Gauntlet is an event during the Tenkaichi Bowl where you fought teams of progressing strength, and once you lose, you were out. We ended up removing it from the bowl because the Gauntlet just kind of made it drag over. We're already doing a very long stream, and the addition of the Gauntlet just made it run long. And so, in order to fix that, we decided to get rid of the Gauntlet and replace it with the Boss Rush, which was one round, but it kept many of the same principles. But we've still gotten a lot of feedback that says, I like the Boss Rush, but I kind of also liked the Gauntlet, where we not only just had escalating difficulty, but we had multiple teams and more variety. And so what by the time this goes up, we should have unveiled what is going to be our Gauntlet replacement, which final name, to be determined. But it will carry on the tradition of the Gauntlet, but it's also going to be merged with our top 3 event, where from past years where we did a Tenkaichi 4 stream where staff and then our 3rd place, 2nd place, and bowl champions would build a team using the Tenkaichi 4 characters. And it would be a snake draft. So we're getting rid of the Tenkaichi 4 stream, and we're replacing it with this Gauntlet. And what will happen is the top 3 teams from the previous year will select a pre-built team. So like Royals, as our previous champion, will get to pick a team, and they will essentially build that team according to the 3rd round rules of the old Gauntlet, which in this case is generally 15-point builds, no restrictions on blue or yellow Pataras, things like that. And so we're preserving that feeling of escalating difficulty. And what will happen is Royals get to select a team that has these OP rules or things like that. But it also presents a lot of elements of strategy, because some of these teams are just built different. Like one example is we have a spin on the final bout, which was the Boss Rush team we did a couple years ago, where it's the GT villains, but because there's only 3 of them on the team, that being Sin Shenron, Super 17, and Baby Vegeta, they all get a free King Kai's training to match up the health in each round. After round 1, an extra character, you can upgrade to Strength Enhancement, which gives you an extra 30,000 health. And we think this will be a fun event for people to both build for, because top 3 teams get OP teams to build. They get to have fun with it, and then once they build it, they'll submit those builds, and then the Kais get to go up and face these teams just like we did in the old Gauntlet. And it should be a fun event. Probably the biggest difference is this will be split over 2 weeks. So the first week we'll see all the Kais go against round 1 and round 2 of this Gauntlet. The second week we'll see them go up against rounds 3 and 4. Round 4 will still be built by staff. We're still going to keep that secret to further escalate the difficulty. So yeah. Anyone here want to? Yeah, and more people get to feel my joy at seeing the overpowered builds go ham. And as Tosh knows, I thoroughly enjoy my creations. But yeah, but each of these teams each of the different pre-selected teams have little quirks and special things. I think my personal favorite is Team Turtle School, which is just Roshi, Kid Goku, Krillin, Yamcha, and Grandpa Gohan. But because it's Team Turtle School, they all get free Master Roshi's training. And so, at the outset, sure, you're fighting weak characters, but they all have a free extra bar of health. And so it's just an insane amount of health that you have to go through. But you go ahead. Mm-hmm. Broly, Bojack, and Semi-Perfect Cell. Which Semi-Perfect Cell there in the original Team Unbound, Semi-Perfect Cell I think ran Medical Machine. So yeah, I will say Team Unbound did get a little bit of a nerf in that Semi-Perfect is not allowed to run Eternal Life in any way, shape, or form, because truth be told, I could never, in my testing, I could never get a team past Team Unbound when you have Semi-Perfect, Transformed Bojack, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Legendary Broly, and Transformed 13. It was insane.
Also, can't wait to see Return of Super Saiyans, by the way.
Yeah, Super Saiyans are making a comeback. Actually, let me just read off all the teams in order. So we have Final Bout, which is the Boss Rush team we used a couple seasons ago. I'm not going to go over all the rules. These will be posted in our Discord for anyone who is interested. Final Bout, Dragon Ball GT, which is Baby, Super 17, Sin Shenron. Team Fusion. This is the version of the team that we used in our last iteration of the Gauntlet, where you had Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, and then Base End Goku and Base End Vegeta in the same lineup. So the teams here, you get to choose between Goten and Kid Trunks, and then basically any 2 sets of characters that can fuse. There's some special rules around fusion there that they get to go through. World Champs, which is basically anyone who won the Tenkaichi Bowl. So that's Jackie Chun, Tien, Early Goku, Kid Trunks, and Mr. Satan. This is another fun one. The Unbound, which is some form of Cell, Bojack, Teen Gohan, 13, and Broly, Turtle School, Super Saiyans, and Final Bout Dragon Ball Edition. So, and all of these have slight differences between them, and some of the red Pataras they're allowed to use, like how many boost store specific Pataras they can use for boosting. So yeah, lots of options here for rules and strategy that should be fun to watch. Yeah. So and right now we're planning on running this event at the beginning of May, right before we start the preseason. We hope you'll join us for that. This should be a fun event for all of us to do, and to give us a couple weeks to get back in the swing of things.
Yeah, 100%. I think my only points to add about the new gauntlet, as we want to call it. I like for the team. I like probably Final Bout because you have so many options with Cell and Frieza. You can literally choose any form, which I think is pretty fun. But then you can say the same about a few teams with the options. I think the options provided are pretty fun and exploratory for the top 3 to choose from. So I think that's good as well. And yeah, I think this event, I prefer it maybe over the BC4 event in the sense that I feel like everyone else is going to be more involved, which I think is good because every team has a fighting stake in this event. So yeah. I think that's good to keep people interested. So it's I just think it's good as an event overall to bring back. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the other one. Like it's like you're kind of doing 3 teams and everyone else is kind of out of it, so it wasn't really a point to watch it. It's kind of boring, you know what I mean, for everyone else. So hopefully this gets people more involved, like X-Matt said.
And it also it's a good. That was the other thing. It's a good prize for the top 3 in terms of being able to have all this fun with all these like extravagant builds. Like if you're top, obviously you win the bowl. That's great, but you also get to be like round 3 of the gauntlet, which is very fun to build for. So
we've got lots of options, and it's been good to make use of that. So
yeah, well, a little sad though. I can't choose a team next year or this season because I'm not coaching anymore.
that was yours.
Build for staff.
Hey, you're building for staff, and once we see, how everything lays out, you and I can have fun building up round 4. So
yeah, sounds good. I can't wait.
All right. Any other thoughts, guys, before we move on to the questions? Oh, that's right.
Hey, so Future Toshare, just basically bringing up here that we now dual stream both on Twitch and on YouTube. We literally just had our first dual stream for the tag team tournament happen both on Twitch and YouTube. And then as you can see here, we have our Twitch and everything like that. It's DBZ League on there. So if you can, go over there, drop us a follow and everything to support us over there as well. We're just trying to grow the community as big as we can. I also try to do some test streams and everything like that for the test requests that our different teams may have put up and everything. Those happen a little bit more sporadically, and maybe in the future I'm looking to try to do something else and also possibly open it up to our different commentators to see if they want to stream something maybe like on Sundays or whatever, just something to get along with the community. So that was pretty much the gist of this part of it. But yeah, come and join us over on the Twitch. So this kind of goes into another point that was kind of brought up, and that's essentially that we are looking for more volunteers. That this whole league is all volunteer based, so we are kind of looking for more graphic designers, testers, even stats people for when the main season comes back around and such. If you want to take a hand into commentary and everything like that, we will be fine with, like, trying to see how that goes around. So you guys make this community and such, and we are very appreciative of it. And if you guys would like to try to join us to help us grow it even more, it'll be greatly appreciated if you do want to come on and do that. So just come and join the Discord and such, and Mal will take it away probably from here.
Yeah, that actually brings up a good point. One of the things we are going to be working on this year is getting more people involved. We are, this year in particular, we are feeling the need for volunteers, and the reality is a lot of the people who are already in the Discord are tapped out. And so we're going to be stepping up our social media efforts and recruitment efforts, because this league runs on volunteers. It really does, and it's not just us here on the Dragon Cast that are volunteering to do this. We have our just phenomenal testers just cranking out hundreds of tests during our off season. We have our extremely talented graphics folks who they do a fantastic job both with our team banners and in the off and coming up with our graphics every week. It really is a group effort every season. And so that's not even mentioning our people who do stats and the tool builders, and the people who work on the website. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. So if there's any place you guys think we could go that we might get traction, let us know in the comments, or join the Discord and let us know there. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Don't get us wrong, it's a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work, and it'd be impossible. Lord knows, if it was just me, that this would be impossible. If it was just staff, this would be impossible. So yeah.
Yeah, I concur with all those points. Volunteers make the league. We just sort of, well, we provide it as well, but like volunteers are the main people making the league in that sense, because they put in a lot of work. So
Indeed. So yeah, let's move on into our questions. First up is from Snuffy Sam, who we just mentioned. As we go into base roster and FA bidding, I'm curious, how do you choose and, more importantly, price the lower form FAs? It seems like it would be difficult to come up with good starting bids for characters who don't often get seen in the season. Example, base Broly and second form Frieza. I don't know how much detail we can go into much, but in past seasons, it's really been pretty heavily based off of the character's kit. Yeah, hold on. Thought I had to sneeze. Yeah, like a lot of it's just based off their kit and how, if we've used them in testing, how they have performed in our testing. And if we really have no data at all or nothing, we're really not sure, we will test the characters and make sure that they fit into the price range that we're looking to have a free agent. Like, a lot of times we're trying to prefer weaker characters for our free agents, because we already have a lot of top tier free agents. Looking at like Adult Gohan, Pycon, Base Vegito, Tapion's probably an A tier FA, but like you know, we don't. We're really careful about adding people at the top of that list, but like mid-range and below, man, you know, if we don't think a character will fit into that, then we probably wouldn't use them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh, sorry, carry on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
There you go.
Alright, well,
I'll go. Okay. So basically, I can't add much on the staff perspective of how it's done and like how things are like looked at, but obviously I'd imagine it would be the kit, and then also talking about sort of somewhat from a cold perspective in terms of we test a lot of our forms all the time, so there are some examples where staff, presumably, you could go in and just look at tests that other people have done just to see how well their character is performing.
We do.
So there are examples of that potentially being able to be done. So that's my two pennies on the situation. But obviously, I haven't been around for those discussions in the past, so I can't massively say what's been said. I can only guess.
Tosh, any thoughts you want to add? Okay. And Enemy, you were gonna say something?
yeah, I was just gonna say like, yeah, we pretty much look at also, you know, characters also can't revert, you know, and like kind of not Super Saiyans, like kind of thing where they can revert back to the base, you know. So do that as well for searching for forms to use as FAs.
Yeah.
Or verbal forms.
And to count, so we've talked a lot about the pricing of the lower form FAs. I will make a note. One of the big things that factors into our choice of which lower form FAs to select, a lot of it just boils down to, like, is this a character we have seen in the league, and would it be interesting to see this character? A good example, you know, that's a big reason why for several seasons we had a form of Frieza in the FA pool, and that's just because, like, you know, Cold has been starting Frieza in final form or 100% for so long, we don't get to see first form or second form all that often, and so it's just a nice little shake up to have those lower forms there, whereas like with Goku or Vegeta, we don't necessarily want another form there unless it is kind of necessary. So, yeah, moving on. Thoughts on the new boost store changes after one season? Are there boosts you wish had been seen more? Why don't we just go in order? Starting from the top. Enemy.
I mean, I think they were used pretty well. I feel like I wish obviously you could use the the 6 ones, the BT Bonanza, you know, B1 bargains a little bit more. But I mean, it's me though. I always love seeing like more spammage instead of melee, because I feel like this is definitely more melee heavy AI. So I was kind of hoping out.
Yeah. Tosh. Hey, just start him in base. Just start Goten in base. It's fine. Then you can use Savior all you want on him. Yeah. X-Matt, what about you?
I want to say for myself, for one that I probably would have wanted to use more, and I don't think was used that much, was B1 bargains. I think that's just overall because closeout special, I think, was maybe the most popular of the 6, just because it was like having a third savior, and people prioritize that more. So I think that was probably the most used and well used Patara, I think. Closeout special, but I would like to see B1 bargains more, and I should probably, given my team, probably use him more myself, to be honest. I think that's about it. Started strong at 5. I thought maybe would get more use, but also hasn't been used. So.
Yeah, I think Muscle made use of B1 bargain a few times. Maybe a couple other teams I don't really remember. I think B2 Bonanza and Closeout Starter Kit and Closeout Special were the 2 that were really used a lot. And I think that's fair. We also saw some other... I think for me, I was a little surprised we didn't see more usage of the of the
other boosts.
Of the double bench boost. Like, we still saw some of the 1 and 2 point the 1 and 2 Zenny cost Pataras being used. Like, especially like the latent energies and serious type things. For those who may not remember, one of the overhauls that we did was we removed purchasing blue Pataras directly from the boost store because we on staff thought that all this really did was it gave people a way to access +3 for a specific stat and it just kind of made the builds boring. And so by taking that away and putting in these other options, it made things more strategic in how you spent your Zenny. For me, I think the one surprise is I don't think we saw a lot of the double benching.
I think one team used it really well, and that was Budokai, I believe. But everyone else, yes.
Yeah. And I think it might have just been Budokai that used their double bench, or used a double bench boost. I'm also a little surprised that we didn't see the reuse of Blue Patara boost used, because there are some teams that play around with Blue Pataras depending on who's benched, and I was a little surprised by that, but I can also understand why that wasn't used, because they'd rather just, if you're switching around Blue Pataras, a lot of times you're switching around builds depending on who's in or out. But yeah, I think overall it has been as far as I'm concerned, it's been a wild success to see the changes and the new the new Pataras being used. So yeah, I also just love having the green aura on everybody. So
yeah, the problem, like you said, Mouse earlier, it's like, yeah, we just didn't want like people to have like plus stats, like just plus stats overall. Like it makes the game kind of boring, makes the rounds kind of, or the building kind of boring the way that happens, because literally just have +3 stats overall, and yeah, it's like you don't really want that. Like, it makes the games a lot weirder and not faster. So
yeah, and I will note, I think this also gives encouragement to use Ultra Divine Water at its now reduced cost of 3, because if you want that extra damage and you want to ensure you have it, you've got to make a sacrifice for it. So I think that's a good thing. But yeah.
But also, we tried to eat with B1 Margaret's on Team Go On, but it kind of worked, kind of didn't, just because, it's freaking, he doesn't transform until the last bar anyway, so it didn't really help out.
Yeah. So, alright. Any other thoughts, guys?
No, all good.
Okay.
Nope.
Alright. Let's move on to the next question. From Andy Was Taken. I don't know if you've seen, but Cold and Androids have been testing lower forms of some of their heavy hitters that we don't often see. How excited are you at the prospect of potentially seeing First Form Frieza with all the transformations, Semi-Perfect Cell with all his transformations, or perhaps even both in the same season?
Oh, I had no idea. I've been looking for. Those. So yeah, I'll say I'm looking for. I'll say I've been trying to bug Donut about Semi Perfect stuff for the last couple of seasons because when I tested him in TOP, yeah, he was really good, and so I was looking forward to. I was trying to get him to help test it, but I guess they didn't want him to do it. I guess, or they outvoted him, or I'm not sure he didn't want to do it, or he got outvoted. I'm not really sure, but like, and also I'd love to see lower form Frieza, but I definitely think final form Frieza is still the best. So. Me though.
That's true actually, so I can't really comment on that.
Getting even more. He doesn't.
He does that in the game as well, so.
Cold can do demonic bargain, so and yeah, like in both cases, like if you have Semi-Perfect Cell and First Form Frieza, for example, both teams are banned from Eternal Life. But Frieza is not banned from demonic bargain. Cell is, because that's way too much healing. Even losing a bar of health, that's way too much healing. On Semi-Perfect Cell. I'll just say, like, historically, the reason why androids have stuck with perfect or semi-perfect or perfect or super perfect, excuse me, is that Semi-Perfect Cell was never good enough to replace eternal life, the loss of eternal life on another character. With the advent of demonic bargain on a Super 17 or now Cyborg Tau, I do think that gives androids more options that are more fun to watch. And the same with Cold. Like, I think having demonic bargain lets them have that freedom to more easily test first or second form Frieza. And dear God, if we see First Form and Semi-Perfect in the league at the same time, is gonna be they're gonna be two very different teams
in the same match. Imagine.
Yeah. So yeah. So on that note, let's move on to our next question, which is, what are your thoughts on all the loans and trades? Which one do you find most interesting, and why is it Hercule for Yamcha? This question also being from Andy.
Alright, so the first loan that we got here was between Hybrids and Sentai. And so Hybrids gave Sentai Ultimate Gohan, and Sentai actually gave over Saiyaman plus 10 Zenny over to
Yes.
hybrids.
That's still one of my favorites this season.
Loved it. Didn't vote for it, but I still love it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think the reality is it comes down to, is Cinema willing, how high up is Cinema willing to go on Adult Gohan? Because if they're not, from what hybrids have said over the years, in public, I just get the sense they will happily go all in on Adult. And if Cinema's not willing to go all in, then I think hybrids can get it. So, but yeah, this is one of my favorites, but there's some other good ones in here. What's the next one we got up?
Yeah, I mean, I think the loan's fair, for the most part. I think their kits are actually, when you look at them, surprisingly similar. When you actually look at their kits, they're surprisingly similar, but Ultimate Gohan obviously has the advantage just in more damage, so I think that the 10 Zenny amount is just about fair, and also it is pretty spicy loan, especially if hybrids manage to pull off Adult Gohan. That would flavour the spice, so yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll happily take either Vegito or Adult Gohan, honestly. They're testing both. I think I can't say it anymore because obviously, can't tell anymore because obviously I'm not team anymore. But like, they'll probably happily take either one, Adult or Vegito, and they'll do great. I think they'll do to be like a really good team for the next season. So I can't wait to see them.
Alright, so our next one is a three-way trade between Budokai, Androids, and GT. And so GT received Super 17, Budokai got GT Goku, and Androids got Cyborg Tao. So yeah, three-way from there. They all got different people.
I love. Yeah, I love this trade so much for so many reasons. You know, one, it gives Budokai a little more of a different flavor. You know, I still think Cyborg Tao is very iconic on Budokai just because of his match with TN. But having Super 17 on GT and having a non-red ribbon character on Androids, I just love it.
Having another active charger, active charger, yeah, that's right, isn't it? On Androids, it's just interesting as well because obviously they're just usually all passive chargers pretty much. So having another one of those is pretty interesting, and I think diversifies the team a little bit more, which I think is fun. And Super 17 on GT feels pretty right for obvious reasons. And yeah, the GT villains.
All the teams have been really testing their new pickup, and it's been really good to watch. So, and it's stuff like this that makes me so glad we have introduced loans and trades. Yeah,
So next we got a loan between Earth Defenders and Dirt, and it was an even loan between them two. Dirt gave over Hercule, and Earth Defenders gave over Yamcha.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, Yamcha's had a couple of decent seasons, and I know Derp has really struggled with Herc for a long time. Just that frustration of just let someone else deal with him, and I get it. Thematically, I just would have loved to have seen Herc go to Budokai in some way, shape, or form. Maybe next season, who knows? But I'm really glad for Derp this season that with this trade, with this loan, and getting Frost, I really think we're going to be seeing a different derp this year. And I'm really hoping it goes well for them.
I guess actually I did it a bit differently. I think that this loan is actually probably beneficial for derp in the sense that Herc always felt like one of those characters where he could be really, really good, or he could be like not very good at all. Like he had peaks and troughs, like big peaks and troughs. I felt like Yamcha's maybe a bit more consistent, and with a new character coming in Frost, maybe that's what they need. Just someone that's a bit more, like, you know, probably going to get 40k every week, as opposed to Herc, who could get like 70k, but then like 10k the next. So maybe a bit more balanced, and I think that's probably what Dirk we're looking at. And maybe like you say, ED can fix up Herc for them, and then they can get him back next season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was in the content to the next man. Like, yeah, I agree with it. At first, I'm like, and then like trade, I'm like, I don't like this trade. Like, it's kind of like I didn't like it for derp, you know. I'm like, get rid of your best character, you know, for a Yamcha. But then after a while, I was like, that probably makes more sense because, like X-Man said, he's definitely a very up and down character, and he's like, he can do well, but most of the time, like, he kind of derps a lot, so it's a problem on him. And Yamcha definitely is more consistent overall, so they definitely need that more consistency on that team. And not just like, because that team is definitely like damage is still like a little bit iffy, you know, like without Frost, I mean, their damage is kind of low, but now with Yamcha and Frost, I think their damage definitely boosts up a lot, and it helps them out, hopefully gets a couple more wins than they did last season. We'll hopefully like double them out, you know, but at least, yeah.
Alright, and then the last loan that we have here is between Cold and Royals. So Cold gave King Cold and one Zenny over to Royals, and Royals gave King Cold Kingdom King Vegeta.
Should have denied this one.
A kingdom for a kingdom. I mean, obviously, I guess I can give it a bit more insight. I like this loan for obviously a number of reasons from my own team perspective, but part of it is kind of leading into the last question with the freezer thing. King Cold is what I call an eternal life swallower, and by that I mean we can't find a build on him so far without eternal life, so it's opened up more options for us in that front, and that's kind of why First Form Freezer is being tested quite a lot more. So that was a thing, but in terms of the actual loan itself, I think it's relatively fair because King Cold had a really, really good season a couple of seasons ago, 2021, I believe. I think it's, yeah, 2021, and he was in the top 10 characters. Now, King Vegeta has probably been a bit more consistent across the actual span of the new league, but King Cold hasn't been bad either. I don't think he's had a season below 40k, so I think as a loan it's fair, and also in my perspective I like it for the options it opens up for us. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean it's a good loan. If for no other reason, then it gives a little more flavor to both teams.
Yeah. And I also get to experiment with 8 forms, which I haven't done, so that's fun. 8 forms on King Cold. On Team Cold, sorry. Who would have thought? Who would have thought the team that hate monkeys and they've got apes? Who would have thought?
Mm-hmm. Yep, we oh, that's a good point. We actually will be having our drop ad coming up just within the next week or so from when this goes up. So by the time our next Dragon Cast comes out, drop ad will be done, and so we'll loans and trades for the season. All right. Next question from False God Red. Out of all the tests you have may have watched, is there one character that caught your eye with their performances?
The base.
I don't want to inflate Tosh's ego. I feel like I'm about to by saying this. Cell Jr. has been really impressive every time I watched him. And also that's going to upset certain people. Anthony, I can already feel the tears flowing down his face. Yeah, Cell Jr. has been very, very, very good. And just a thorn in my backside every time we test against him. Which is, it's irritating. I can't deny that. Other than that, his father, Mr. Semicell, also an absolute menace in testing, so I can't really deny that either. So those two in particular have really stood out to me.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a semi-perfect cell, definitely. Like, and then who was it? 13 with UDW. Obviously, I love all the UDW builds lately. I've been kind of having fun with that. I'm kind of enjoying that. And then base team go on, which is also fun to see. Just how his charge rate has been going, and he's been killing it, kind of like. So it's kind of fun to see. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Yeah, well, I mean.
I am already afraid. That is terrifying, especially because my team is prone to being sucked into a magnetic Kamehameha, so that is extremely terrifying.
I want to say it was either Fasha or Kid Buu that just had an amazing test with Chase Down Artist. Of course, Kid Buu also had the thing in the TOP where he just did like 20k back to back off of ping pongs. But there's been some good Chase Down Artist usage this off season, and it's been fun to watch. I'll also echo Semi Perfect Cell. Has been terrifying to watch. I've also enjoyed watching some of Frost's good performances as well. So, but yeah, moving. No, I was just going to move us to the next question. From Zal, do you wear wigs? Answer, no.
I answered that in the general chat.
I'm a British person, so of course I wear a wig. That's sort of like the commonplace. Have you ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean? They all wear wigs, okay?
Power wigs. That Tina Harbor.
So yeah, that's the one.
Moving on. First question from Carrick. What is your ideal sleeper build for a character you want to work with in the future?
I kind of have an answer for this, but it's kind of like a cheat answer because I actually have worked with this character in TOP, so I don't know if it counts. Basically, what Tosha described with Evil Boo, put that on Deborah, like Super 2, Focus, Shine, Ignition. It's one of the most disgusting builds that you'll ever see. Like, he does, obviously, he spams, on the key build, he spams Evil Imports, but even on Super 2 with all of the, with the key minus and everything, he still spams the hell out of that B2. And then he has the, I think it's Evil Flame, that does, like, on his last bar with, like, Indignation Focus Shot, does, like, 15k, which is pretty powerful considering that I think it also goes through a lot of B2s. So, yeah, that would be my answer, even though it's kind of a cheat answer.
Yeah, for me, I always have a few builds in my mind I want to do for TOP at least. I want to do obviously the Dragon Beat, what was it, Dragon Beat, like second B1s with your Turles, Ginyu, 21, those guys, have fun with that, or Finish Shine as well. Do Finish Shine builds with like Gogeta as well, that sounds pretty fun to me. Also, just do like a really fun Surplus 2 Focus Shot. Was it launch support on the character? Just do a lot of spam and animation as well on there. But like, yeah, just do spam and not lose a lot of, power, initial power. Right, like the problem which lose by 0.4 at the start of that, and then when they get the bar, they go up positive. So they will do a lot of damage. With barely any downside, which is really fun to do. What else? So many ideas. I have so many ideas, man. What do I want to do for TOP?
Yeah, I feel that. For me, I think the two that immediately come to mind for me are Ultra Divine Water on Ultimate Gohan, with like Super +2 Focus Shot, and Indignation on Ultimate Gohan, just so he can spam those explosive waves. The hard part for me is I do so much testing for a lot of characters that like for Boss Rush or Gauntlet, I've especially in combination with like Red Pataras, I've probably used a lot of really good builds on a lot of characters, especially like Red Pataras and such. So beyond like something like that, or it'd be really fun to run Demonic Bargain on like 18, or like that same Ultra Divine Water Super +2 on 18, just to spam those barrages all the time. Yeah, that's it for that question, I think.
Well, UDW semi-perfect, that'd be fun too. If they actually do
UDW on who?
semi or first form.
Yeah, I mean it could, like that healing, roll his ring and put up in semi-perfect on there. I mean, he can recover a lot, especially if you pair it with like Dendays and defense +3, and all of a sudden you've got a very good defensive spammer there.
Exactly.
But yeah. Next question, also from Carrick. Are there any underutilized Pataras you think should be used more? Enemy, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like UWs are used not much in the regular season or regular league. I think they could use more on the lesser stat guys, like DB guys and stuff that definitely need the stats. Because on this point, like Arya or Kid go on, as well. Because like sometimes they just derp so much and they can't do their damage. They definitely need the extra little boost. So might as well help them out. Was the money bargain also is kind of cool. I think it's a little bit hard though to use though because I feel like you want to go defensive with that, and like people always wanted to go with key +2 in it to give like a high tension kind of full key build. Also, you could do Omen with it. It'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, I'll actually echo that. I've said in the past, especially now that Ultra Divine Water is back down to, or is at 3 points. Ultra Divine Water is really good at the lower end of the league, like where you see your Kid Gohans, your Ginyus. If you get them against the right character, like if you can figure out, okay, I think my opponent's going to put their weak link here, and if I put my weak link on Ultra Divine Water, like it's a really good build, and it's a really good way to help the lower end of the league. I'll also echo kind of what you said, like with Demonic Bargain or Key Control and Ultra Instinct Omen. I think we're starting to see some of that change. I've seen a number of tests with like Ultra Instinct Omen or Key Control in the off season. Which is good. I think as some of that meta changes and you see that, we'll see those V1 Pataras and some of the newer Pataras that have been slow to catch on see more usage.
Yeah, I think that was actually going to be one of the ones I was going to mention with the B1 Pataras. Dragon Beat, Dragon Pulse. Definitely, I don't really see that much. Sometimes you see Dragon Spirit being used with the new cost change being one. But people don't seem to be investing in Dragon Beat and Dragon Pulse as much, which I think could be a pitfall. I understand kind of why, because obviously in the sense that you're not obviously guaranteed for them to actually meet the requirements to get the B1 stocks, but also depending on the character as well. You might have a B1 that you don't want them to use, and they might use that B1, and people are maybe a bit more suspect. But I think the actual potential of those Pataras are kind of insane, especially on certain characters, Broly, Frieza, etc. So there is definitely good use to be had there.
Oh yeah.
And like you said, use of Omen too. I mean, on B2s has been a lot more prevalent. I noticed lately in the tests. Like if you don't care about their ult, I mean they waste so much key, on like with key with Dragon Dashing and Rush Blast, that or and stuff, and dodging. Like you have no you've ever watched how much your key lose. It's amazing, And if Omen, you definitely see them use more B2s because they save a lot more key overall.
Also with Omen, and this very funny thing that happened in one of Cold's latest tests, it has Mirage Master, so if you dodge one attack, like from a volley, you dodge all of them. So we had Super 17 buy one on Mecha Frieza, who was running an Ultra Instinct Omen, and he dodged a Hellstorm, and then dodged the whole Hellstorm, went round in a circle. Which was pretty amusing to watch. But yeah, I think UIO is a very good utility Patara for all the stuff that it actually does. So yeah.
All right. What about you, Tosh? Okay. Then let's move on to our next question from Armed Roz. With the inclusion of Frost to the league, what are your hopes from him? Without derp testing in mind, what kind of builds did you immediately think of based on his toolkit? Enemy, you want to get us started here?
Well, I mean, I was obviously thinking Freeze's building like KSA 0+1 to +2. Originally my idea, but like yeah, then I looked at your that kit. I'm like, oh, that's definitely probably not. It would work, but I think it's melee probably better.
Yep. So, Xmat, do you want to speak on anything to this before I give my thoughts?
Obviously we're not going to give out too many secrets out the tin for how Frost can work with the builds and stuff. But in terms of like his inclusion into the league, I hope he does really well. Obviously there's some really cool niche things that he has, like the stun with the melee, which I don't think anyone else actually has that stun effect. And then he obviously has the B1. He has the B1 stun, which I think is really cool. The kind of like meshes into how he actually did things in the show with the jab to stun people. So I really like the kit, and I mean he has Nova Strike, so I would bound to love it. Basically Nova Strike has the same properties, right? So
yeah, the only difference between Nova Strike and Dirty Burst or whatever it's called is the energy circle around him is much smaller.
Ah, okay. So Freezer is more powerful. Got it. Okay. Yeah, no. But in all seriousness, though, I'm really interested to see how he works on Derp, and hopefully Derp have a good season. But yeah, that's about my lot.
Yeah. Yeah. As to the first question, the hopes here are Frost becomes he becomes the missing piece that kept Derp from being, you know, from the Derp that really struggled to be competitive in the league to bringing them to being a consistently competitive team, but not overpowered. Like Frost was not meant to make Derp like a North Kai level team. It's meant, but it's meant to make Derp a team that is not consistently consigned to South Kai. Because we have seen seasons where Derp got a good free agent and they still just couldn't make the team work. We had hoped that with some of the loans and trade options that, you know, especially as Derp's master list has expanded over the years, that loans and trades would have ameliorated some of that problem, but that didn't really happen. So I'm really hoping that Frost will help keep Derp in a good place. As for testing, I mean, I think the obvious things that came to mind once Geom added the stun mechanic were, honestly for me, it was literally just attack plus and B1s. I mean, it was just a matter of how do you want to capitalize on those. So like, attack 2, Ultra Divine Water, quick fast attack, you know, Dragon Spirit to increase the usage of the stun B1, and then, you know, maybe switch out some of those like Spiritual Control or Exquisite Skill to just add on even more stun. So, but I mean, I think all those ideas have been fairly well tested. And the rest of his kit is at least middle of the road. So, I mean, you know, if you want to go B2 focus, go for it. I don't think that's the best way to go, though. But
Strike is what you're gonna say,
yeah. No. Yeah, and I mean, at least the early testing seems to show kind of like what we saw in testing, which is Frost has the potential. He can do really well. Yes, he can be shut down and he can have a bad performance like any other character, but it should be an overall good thing for the league. So, moving on. Least favorite question coming up from Geom. can we redo every master list again?
Hell no.
If you want us to redo every master list again, you can come join us. Otherwise, Geom probably knows what words we're saying under our breath reading this question. So we'll leave it at that.
I was gonna say I can't comment because I wasn't there, luckily. So, yeah.
Lucky. No. No.
We are the lucky two. Yes.
Yeah. I will start drinking heavily before doing another round of master list. Oh man. So, moving on to happier questions from Dorgard. Keeping with the formula and script reward, Muscle is about to win another DBZ League title. Any spoilers you want to reveal? Anything you want to reveal, i.e. predict, about potential playoff matches? Oh no, I thought...
No.
I thought this year was supposed to be Derp versus Namek. Are you sure you got the right season?
I'm pretty sure that's well, Toshi's got the right season, but he's forgot that the outcome is Cold absolutely annihilates Rugrats. But otherwise, yeah, Toshi's on the right tracks.
I will just say, like, as far as what I want from this season, I really want some of our underdogs like Sentai and Derp to do really well. Like, I'll be honest, my hope is we have two completely new teams in the bowl, and we are guaranteed a new champion. As long as we have that, I'm happy.
Same, pretty much. I think it'd be nice to freshen things up because we've only had two winners so far. Obviously, if one of them goes on to win again, then congratulations in advance. But it would be nice for there to be a new winner.
Yeah,
whoever that may be.
Trust me, you guys. If you know, Dora was asking in good fun and jest. If things were really rigged, you guys would know, because it would be like we would not have the bowls we did the last couple years. It would have been like 2022 would have been like androids versus Earth Defenders, with Earth Defenders winning, or you know, this past season would have been like Derp and Sentai because of the struggle they had the entire season, and just having a Derp versus Sentai matchup would have been a phenomenal end to it. So, but yeah,
not this season.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's why we're doing it this season. You know.
I think Sentai is definitely a dark horse for this next season. I think they definitely do it now with Ultimate Gohan and Jiren. Plus, like, they figured out a little more. I think that would be a scary team to deal with.
Oh god, like with Ultimate Gohan and Jiren, like, it was only the fact they were paying so much Zenny for Ultimate Gohan that I'm like, okay, this is fine. This is not going to be an OP team. This is fine. But yeah. Any other thoughts on that question, guys?
I mean, it's gonna be the same couple teams, you know? Like hybrids, Boos, Royals, Cold. Top 4.
No, it won't be. There'll be some variety.
I really hope there will be. But yeah, moving on. Another question from False God Red. Can Defense -2 characters become neutral if the characters are pretty bad?
DB characters.
See, the thing is, there's got to be a balance for the league. There's got to be weaker characters at some point. There has to be, like, characters that are bottom. It's unfortunate for if you've got that on your team, like you've got that character. But luckily, I feel like a lot of the real bottom feeders are usually free agents. So, and most people don't use them. Like Goldo, no one uses Goldo. Even the hybrids did actually use them last season, but that's beside the point. They wanted to use them, they didn't have to. Kid Go On could have been used instead. But yeah, so a lot of the bottom feeder characters, that most of the time FA exclusives, so that helps with the balance. And just generally, like, I mean, Kid Gohan on hybrids, for example, you could say, you know, maybe isn't the best character in the world, but him being on hybrids kind of helps with the balance, because hybrids, besides Kid Gohan, are such a good team. So it's like they have to have a weak link somewhere, kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
Krillin is defense -2 as well.
Kick.
And defense -2.
Kick
And he
Goku.
works really well.
Yeah, you had a really good run with him. You should drop Pan for Cyberman. Yeah. Enemy, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, like Kid Goku, like Kid Goku, or it was I think when everyone like where like he did really well and did really well for him, and like Dak was too. Gave him like, he just gave him like a little like, he melted really fast, but man, he could do a lot of damage before he died. Kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, I think all I'm gonna say on that is kind of echoing what Xmet said. Like the job of staff in a lot of ways is to look at the league as a whole and not just individual characters. And so we when we look at buffing a character, we try to look at, okay, how is that going to impact the team? Do we think that's going to make a team too strong? Do we think that, you know, if this character can move, like to use the Kid Gohan example, like, shoot, how should I say this? Like, well, let me phrase it this way. There have been times in the past where we have buffed defense -2 characters to neutral defense in testing, and that testing showed they turned into a really good character, very surprisingly so. And so we had to drop that because we're like, whoa, if we do this, things. We could create other problems, and that's one of the reasons why we're okay with there being characters that are weak in the league, because you kind of need those. And yeah, it sucks to have that one frustrating character on every team that just you can't seem to make work, because that's part of the balancing for everything. Now, we could do other things, like we could move from 5v5, you know, having 5-man teams to 4-man teams, and then every team is going to have nothing but good characters. But then if everybody's good, then nobody's good or bad. And sometimes that makes things purely RNG rather than having some element of strategy, which may or may not be a good thing.
I think it also removes some of the fun factor, because as we've kind of like just talking, Cyberman had like that explosive like ability to kill Kid Buu, kill King Cold, kill Broly, and that kind of, at least for me, is a bit of the fun factor, the underdog kind of coming up. Like if you've got a 4-man setting where everyone's good, obviously as you say everyone's good, but no one's good at the same time. It's kind of a bit of a dichotomy, but also you don't have that underdog story because everyone's kind of the same. Which I think kind of, it doesn't destroy like the league, but it kind of like devalues it a little bit if you do that.
Yeah.
So I think it also creates a power vacuum for the very top teams and the very bottom teams being overstated. You know what I mean, some teams are definitely naturally overstated, and some are definitely a little bit weaker naturally. You know what I mean? So we help out.
Any other closing thoughts on this question before we move on?
So, all good.
I'm good.
Okay. Tosh? Okay. Next question is from Gomel Jack. Thoughts on any of the trades and loans that took place? Already asked and answered. So we'll move on from there to our last question from Sean. He said, pick a random number and create your dream lineup for whatever team you get.
You want me to hand out the numbers? I have a random number generator loaded up.
Go for it.
Right, so enemy, you have number 11. I don't know if do we want me to hand out all the numbers and then... Oh, yeah, we'll do that actually. Yeah, so Malachi, you've got number 3.
Oh, I wanted number 9.
Oh, that's a shame. Tosh, you have number 5. And I have number... Oh, we're not going to do the same team because I'm not going to do 11. I have number 15. Okay. Who wants to begin? That's actually a good.
You want to go, Tosh? Go for it. So, just for everybody who may just be listening, can you say the team you were randomized?
All right. So with me getting number 5, my picks for Royals will actually be Majin Vegeta and Vegeta. I believe Cooler, regular Cooler, not Meta Cooler. Baby Vegeta and Deborah. Those will be my pick if I had to have my dream team for Royals.
Okay. Enemy, why don't you go next?
That's gonna be hard. Alright. So, Ultimate Gohan. So I got Bujin. Sorry, my bad. So Master List. I was looking at Master List to make sure who I wanted. It's kind of a hard choice, you know. Ultimate Gohan. Majin Vegeta. I probably want to go Goku and Vegeta just because I want the fusion. That'd be fun. And, yeah, one more. Ooh, probably Kid Buu. Kid Buu is always really good, so.
X-Mat?
Okay, so I got Budokai. Kid Trunks, that feels like a fairly obvious one. Late Piccolo as well. Then, probably Oob. Yeah, definitely Oob, actually. 18, and then probably end Goku.
Nice.
To round off.
Yeah. I will make it up for him. I will say I did not. I heard a distinct lack of Roshi from that team. So.
Wow. I do love Roshi, but can he compete with those? I want Jackie Chun actually. Yeah, Jackie Chun, not Roshi. It's different.
So, well, to make Tosh happy, that helps me decide between the two versions of this team I had in mind, which. Then I will give you both of my dreams. First up is Base Enku, Base End Vegeta, Goten, Kid Trunks, and Teen Gohan. Base End Goku, Base... Oh, sorry, Earth Defenders, sorry. Yeah, we extended them out to Buu Saga, so now I get Base End Goku, Base End Vegeta, Goten, Kid Trunks, Teen Gohan. The other version of this team would be Teen Gohan, Late Piccolo, Mid Goku, Mid Vegeta, and let's see, who else did I want? It was Adult Trunks. So basically the Super Saiyans and Late Piccolo.
I mean, Boots is a hard choice. I mean, they had so many good choices. The Deborah, people didn't choose Deborah. They had, who was it? Late Piccolo. Couple good ones in there. Buhan, dude. Like, there's so many good characters you can pick. Boo Saga, dude. It was so hard to pick.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we are done. We've done all the questions. Any closing thoughts from you guys before we go?
Thanks everyone for all volunteers and just all supporters in general for making this possible. And yeah, thanks for your questions.
Enemy, anything to close us with?
I covered everything.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for, I think it's almost an hour and 40 minutes now. Yeah, as we said, we're looking for volunteers. If you've got suggestions for us to recruit on social media or other online forums, let us know. Like and subscribe. Join us on Discord. All the things. And we hope to see you guys again soon. We hope you're enjoying the Tournament of Power that is, by this point, getting ready to go into the actual Tournament of Power. And we'll see you guys again soon. Later.
Bye.
Bye.